Let's talk college. All right. So, I wanted to record an episode specifically about my college experience. I know it's probably a very random topic to talk about, but I highly recommend everybody goes to college. I think that going to college is such an experience for someone, especially at the ages that you do it. I'm not saying you can't go back to college because it honestly, way more props to you if you actually go back to college. That shit is hard. Um, Personally, once I got out of that learning mindset, like that school mindset, I don't know if I could go back. But anyway, let's talk college. So, again, highly recommend going to college. I honestly do not think you need to go into it having a major. I think it's okay if you start and you just do your generic classes and get those out of the way first. But I think after a while, the older you get, the more you experience things, and the more you surround yourself with people that you want to actually surround yourself with. I think you can tell who you want to become in life. So, just for example, public school is something that everybody goes to, so you don't really have a choice on like who you keep around you. The area you live in decides who you keep around you. Going to college and getting to choose what area you want to go to. I went to right outside of Philly. Don't worry, my college is not there anymore. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm paying student loans when my college is literally not there. Um, it's been done, torn down. It's literally an elementary school at this point. I don't want to talk about it, but still, as I'm literally going to talk about college, Jesus Christ, Kirsten. So, um, yes, I went outside of Philly. I did look at a college in New York. And I also looked at a college. Oh, goodness. Where else did I look at a college? I don't remember, to be honest. But there weren't that many art schools around here. So I chose to go for graphic design. That was my major. That was like my choice. And I did not want to go to like a 4 year college if I didn't have to because I didn't think it was worth it just to get an art degree. I did not think that, oh, like I need to go take more science classes and more math classes. And yes, please let me just get into like the history of English when I'm not going to use any part of that. I guess technically some of it would be used, but whatever. So I chose to go to this 2 year school outside of Philly. And I personally feel like whenever you choose the area that you go to and then you see who else chose that area, that's kind of when you get to decide, like, oh, so these people also chose this, which means they also probably have similar ideas to me because obviously we're coming here for similar reasons. Now, it is different when you go to a 4 year college. Again, everyone's going to go with like different majors in mind. But I think it's just really cool because when you get there, you get to meet a variety of people that you would never get to meet. I mean, I met people. This one guy was from Kansas. I don't know why he came all the way to Philly from Kansas, but okay. There's probably good reason on why he did. He probably didn't want to live in Kansas anymore. But still, out of everything, you chose Philly? I don't know. Um, but yeah, you get to meet people from like all over. I mean, some schools are larger than others, and like, don't get me wrong, like a large school can be very intimidating, I'm sure. I literally graduated with 50 people. It was a very tiny school. Now, I liked that personally because that meant I kind of got to know everybody there, and I just felt like it was more um like I felt like I was more of an actual person there and not a number, which is what I wanted. But still, if you don't care and you would rather go to a large school because there's more opportunity, that totally makes sense. But living on your own and getting to experience, I guess, what real adulthood is like. Now, granted, in college, you're not totally in real adulthood, but getting to see what it would possibly be like to live on your own or to live with roommates. You have to learn how to like navigate with people and how to like learn to trust someone and like working around different schedules. And I just think it's something that everybody needs to go through. It's almost like a crash course for, again, real life. But you're in a safe environment. I mean, God forbid you don't get along with someone. All you have to do is reach out to like your RA or something, and they'll probably switch you out. Like, it's not a big deal. Um, if you are in real life and you say yes to being a roommate with someone, you're usually fucked because you already signed that lease. So it's, again, I think it's just kind of like a trial. And I feel like this is where people get to really experiment and decide who they want to be because also like their parents are not there to like tell them who they want to be. And the friends that they've had forever, yes, you've had them forever, but again, you don't know what they want to do with their lives. Maybe they are, I don't know, I don't want to sound rude, but like maybe they're deadbeats and they don't want to do anything else with the rest of their life, and you actually want to go do things. You're probably going to outgrow them, and that's completely normal. Um, I have made so many friends in college, and thankfully, I at least kept one of them that has like been my best friend throughout all college and throughout most of my adulthood so far. Who knows what the rest of the, years will bring me, but um I just think it's so cool to be able to meet people that you would normally not cross paths with. So you get to like see such a different environment. And especially for me, whenever I came from such an area that was mainly rural, and I guess a little bit suburban, but like I never been to like a city. I went to New York City on like a school trip, but like that doesn't really count. So like getting to be outside of Philly, and again, being on your own, it's terrifying, absolutely, but you learn so quickly. Like, okay, I got to be aware of my surroundings. I have to like take care of myself. I have to take care of, at least with that, with me, I had to bring my car. And I was like, I have to take care of my car. Let's like be very careful with that. I have to make sure I lock it. Like, you just learn these like little life lessons. And don't get me wrong, we all make mistakes. I absolutely like made a few mistakes in my time. For one, I had a Volkswagen Jetta at the time. Loved that bitch. Oh my god, that thing was ride or die for me. And it was having like mechanical issues at the time. My roommate and I went to a local AutoZone, and I was like, "Hey, like, the check engine light came on. Do you mind just running uh the thing? I can't think of it right now, but still, to tell me what's wrong with it, basically, to tell me what I need to fix." And granted, it was just, two girls walking into AutoZone, but still, like, I loved my car and I did a decent amount of, like, I don't want to say work on it beforehand, but, like, the basics my dad did with me. So, like, I knew certain things. Um, and I've also always loved cars. That's just a backstory, but still. So, whenever I get there, there was a guy that was like, I'm sorry, what kind of car do you have? And I said, oh, it's a Jetta. And this was like a customer, like, he was about to check out, like, right after me. Um, and of course, like the guy that's working there, he's like getting the machine. He's like, yeah, let's go like plug it in. And the guy goes, do you mind if I come along? And I was just like, I don't, sure, whatever. Like, I didn't get bad vibes from him. This is one thing that I probably don't recommend because, hey, I listened to my gut and thankfully I was not, kidnapped. But yeah, you probably shouldn't just tell a random stranger, sure, come along, I don't care. Um, but yeah, so we went out to my car. They ran the analytics on it, gave me what was like wrong with it, what I needed to fix. Uh, we went back into the AutoZone so that he could like kind of print out my report for me. I said, thank you, appreciate it. And the guy that we talked to was like, I probably can help you with your car. And I said, oh, cool. Like, all right. He literally handed me a business card, and he goes, yeah, my garage is right down the road, just come follow me, I'll take you right there, and like we'll just fix it real quick. And I was like, I love this guy. Again, don't recommend, but I followed my gut, and thankfully I was not kidnapped. um I learned all of this after the fact because I really didn't think about the fact that I am just like, cute little 19-year-old, like, let's fix my car. So, my roommate and I mean, I wasn't alone. I do think that did help. Like, I think because I wasn't alone, it did help because I was like, if God forbid something happens, I have one, a back person here that can vouch for me, but two, she can call 911 if something happens. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so we followed this dude to his garage, and he literally like took a look at it, put my car up on the thing, and I was like, yeah, oh my god, like I'm at a garage. Also, the fact that this garage had a pity, it was the cutest thing. I loved her. I loved her so much. She was such a good girl. She was Brindle, and I just loved her. She was so sweet, and she loved me. So yeah, I was like, obviously you're good people. Hi. I mean, the dude also was driving like a Volkswagen, so I was like, okay. And sorry, excuse me. Um, to be fair, every car in that lot, like in his garage area, was a Volkswagen. So he was ironically telling the truth. Hey, I actually work on these things. So like I was very, very lucky with that. Um, anyway, And so he went to like fix my car, blah, 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 did all these things. And of course, because he thought I was cute, gave me a little discount, wasn't mad at it. And I said, thank you. I left, went home, and I just remember sending a screen or a picture of like the card to my mom and being like, look, I found this dude and he like fixed my car. And my mom called me immediately and was like, what the fuck are you talking about? She was so mad. I told her the whole story and she was like, Kirsten, you do not just like meet someone out at an AutoZone and just follow them back to their freaking garage. She's like, he could have kidnapped you. He could have literally just like killed you. You don't even know. He could have like trapped you in there. You could have been sex trafficked, which of course, my brain, I always think that someone's going to kidnap me. I'm psychotic. I'm literally almost 30 years old and I still think I'm going to be kidnapped. I'm afraid of like almost everybody. But then I just feel vibes. And I'm like, nah, it's fine. No, you're fine. No, you're fine. I'm like, if you were a bad person, I think I would know. I feel like I have like this instinct. I don't. But yeah, so that happened. And again, don't really recommend the way I did it. But hey, I'm here to tell a story. So it was fine. It was fine at the time. But yeah, so I had to learn how to take care of my car by myself. I had to learn how to like do groceries, and like I personally I did have some financial support, thankfully, from like parents. Like my mom would like she paid for my Easy Pass to get home. Well, technically to get to school too, but she said, I don't ever want you to feel like you can't afford to come home. So like I will pay for your Easy Pass, which was so nice of her. My dad would send me like 20 bucks here and there. Like he was very, very nice with that. Anytime I would come home, usually my Mimi would also give me like 20 bucks, just like, gas money, but still, cause 20 bucks back then actually like got you somewhere. Weird. I don't know. Now it's like that would get me maybe half a tank. Hate it here. So yeah, I think that everybody needs to go to college. I just do. I didn't say you had to graduate college. College is hard. College is really hard. And also knowing that like you're going to get into debt, not fun, not great. I feel like the only positive is, at least with me, like the interest rates were not terrible. So like luckily, like yes, I'm going to be paying it off till I'm 40, but like my interest rate's not that bad. One of my loans has already been paid off, thankfully. But the other one, I'll be paying on it for the next 10 years. I possibly might be able to get it down, but my problem is I have to pay for like, I'm going to have like a car to pay for eventually. Like I have a car, but I'm just saying is like, I'm probably going to have to upgrade at some point because that's just what happens in life. I'm going to have a house to pay for at some point. Like, life moves on. So yeah, sorry, something was in my eye. But yeah, college is wild though too because I had to literally I had a part-time job. I did not have a full-time job, but I had a part-time job and I went to school, and especially during the second half of my second year, so like the last semester basically, I had an internship as well. And don't worry, I still went to the gym because we had a gym in our apartment complex. How did I do all of this? I also had projects, especially like final projects that we had to create a whole portfolio, and like every class had a certain part of that portfolio. It was just wild. And I got my homework done. So my classes were weird. I went to a 2-year school and it was a career focused school, which means that we went from 8 to 12, and then from 12 to 1 was like lunchtime, and then your second class was from 1 to 5. So like we had like 4-hour classes. And don't get me wrong, you would take a break usually in the middle of it, and you'd be able to like get up, move around, go outside, take a breather, it's fine. But just wild to think that I had a full 4 hours out of my day just in class. Clearly I was very good with like my times, or yeah, my time management though, because I would use those times that if I had maybe one project done, I was like, okay, well, I have to stay here for another hour, so I might as well just work on other homework. So I would. Smart girl. Love that for me. Because usually I would work after that. So say I had an 8 to 12 class, I would work like 2 to 10 that night. Full 8-hour freaking work period. And then after 10 o'clock, I would go to the Giant that's like right next to where I worked, and I would do like my grocery shopping really late. I would always call my mom because like she would talk me through it because I was fucking tired. And also, fun fact, I thought that my mom sent me to school with detergent. Guess what? She didn't. I learned that afterwards. So for the first like month, maybe even 2 months of me living in Philly, I didn't wash my clothes with detergent. I just used fabric softener. I mean, I didn't know. You live and you learn. And also, my clothes were still fine. I don't think that anyone thought I was dirty. I don't know. So, yeah, fun things. But yeah, I just think that everyone needs to go to college. I think everybody needs to get out of their area. I think everyone needs to experience a different area. I think it's one of those things that like you genuinely don't know until you know. So like college is almost like a pre-adulthood. You get to kind of learn what you're going to be like as an adult. Like, can you manage things on your own? Can you handle having certain like schedules? Can you deal with multiple people? Can you have a budget? Like there were so many things. Like I said, I did have a gym within the apartment complex that I was at. Luckily, it was within walking distance. So sometimes if I had like an afternoon class from 1 to 5, because only 1 day a week was a full day, which was like, again, 8 to 12 lunch and then 1 to 5. That was 1 day out of the 5 day week. Every day, like the 4 other days was you either had a morning class or an afternoon. Like you didn't have another full day. I think some people technically did have 2 full days, and then they just got a Friday off or something, which I guess is nice. I don't know. It didn't really affect me, but regardless, if I had an afternoon class from 1 to 5, I would literally in the morning wake up whenever I wanted to, just go to the gym because I had all morning to do whatever I wanted, so I would. Um, or sometimes I would go to school early to sit in the cafeteria and work on things because we didn't really have a library per se. We didn't have an area that we could just study or work on things. Although to be fair, as long as there wasn't a class going on in a room, because every room was used for multiple classes, you could go in a room. No one's gonna yell at you for just being in a room. So yeah, my college was only for graphic design and for photography, so it was kind of nice because everybody there, you knew exactly what they were there for. We had a little school store that had all of our little artistic things, and but I don't know, I just thought it was cool because they also taught you multiple areas within that. So even though I was a graphic design major, I didn't just take graphic design classes. I took web design classes. I had like traditional art classes, which was the worst for me, but some people were so good at drawing, so good. It was amazing. I had specifically typography classes. So, and there were a few classes that the photographers also took, the business oriented ones, and economics, stuff like that. So, I don't know, it was just really cool though knowing that we were all there, we were all creative, seeing the different aspects of life, seeing where people came from, and just knowing that we all want to do similar things was really cool. And you could collaborate with people and just speak with people and learn where they came from and what were they taught when they grew up and stuff. I don't know. I just think it's really cool to be exposed to these kind of things. It's true that you just don't know till you know. So I didn't know what it was like to live in a city until I lived in Philly. Again, I was outside of it, but still being able to walk into Philly and being able to take the train and dealing with that and how does that work? Dealing with the traffic, dealing with the terrible roads. Oh my god, I'm really happy I made it out of there without a flat tire. That those roads were terrible. Um but yeah, it was just really really cool to see a whole different world basically than what I grew up with. Um yeah, so I just think everyone needs to go and experience these kind of things. And some people I definitely think have it a little bit easier. Some people get financial support from their parents so they don't have to deal with having a job and such. But I actually don't hate that I had to have a job because one, it taught me accountability. It taught me how to be responsible for myself. It taught me time management. And also I just feel like I met so many cool people because I worked with people that actually lived in that area. So I got to meet people that were I met people in the real estate industries. I got to meet people. I worked at DSW, so I got to meet people of all ages there, which was really cool. I worked at David's Bridal in that area. Kind of hated that job, to be honest. Did not want to go back to that job. I did that job my second semester in my first year. And I was like, thank God I'm only here from January to April. I was like, I'm not doing this. It's not that David's Bridal was a terrible place. It's that I thought I was being hired for one thing, and then they put me up front as like customer service, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And their machines at the time were like so outdated that I was like, this actually hurts my brain to use. Like it was so stupidly hard. I'm sure it's much different now. I'm almost positive it's a lot different now. That was back in like 2014, 15, 24, 15. Oh my god, it's been 10 years. Ew. I This summer will literally be 10 years since I graduated college. That's wild to me. That is freaking wild. But yeah, I think going to college is good for not just like the educational experience, but like the life experience that you get from it. I think regardless, it's really freaking cool whenever you get to number one, experience new things and learn more. I think it's so cool when you get to like expand your knowledge in not just like the books, but in like the life experiences of things. Um, like and also I had such cool professors that was such a wide variety, and each one of them was also working within the industry, which was so cool because you got to kind of see like during class, if we all had extra time, they'd put up some projects they're working on, and I'd be like, that's awesome, like you're getting paid to do that. That's fucking cool. um so you also got to know like everything that they were teaching you is something that was like needed and useful within the industry, which was really nice. um yeah, I loved college. I got to meet, like I said, so many cool people. For example, Megan, I met Megan. She became my bestie more in the end of the first year slash definitely over the summer and fully into the second year. Um, but I just loved her energy. I was like, I don't care where you came from. You're fun. This is a good time. Ironically, she doesn't live terribly far from me. She's about 2.5 hours from me. I just never go in that direction because she's like literally center of PA. Um, but like we kept each other so accountable. Like it was like, all right, we have the same, I think we had the same schedule, I'm pretty sure. Like we had the same schedule, so it was like, all right, we're getting up, we're going to class, like we're going to come home. We both had jobs, we both had to work, and then we would literally sit down and be like, all right, we have about 2 hours, we got to get as much done as we can. Like let's put on some tunes and just get it done. And so we would keep each other accountable. And then when we had afternoon classes and it was like, hey, let's go to the gym, she'd be like, fuck yeah, like let's do it. So it was so nice to have someone that was like on the same schedule as me that was just like, let's keep it moving. Like our teachers used to joke around and call us the dynamic duo because like we were always together. We were always like getting shit done. The nice thing was the school, even though you only had class from a certain time, it was open that full time. And then they would even have extended hours going into like, final season basically. Because for us, finals weren't like, they weren't tests. They were the final presentation basically. So we knew we had to like print things out. We knew that we had to like work on things. So we actually needed like the physical school to be open so that we could use their printers and everything. Cause like I don't have access to that. I don't have any printers back at that apartment. So yeah, I would like to like use your equipment. Thanks. And like the photography majors, they absolutely needed that because like, especially with like first years, they did like the dark room and all of that. So like kind of physically need that. But it was so cool. It was so fun because it's kind of just again, you feel like you're almost walking into just like a creative world. Like you walk in there and you just see like the walls were covered in design and different photography, and it was just so beautiful. And seeing like the different photography classes, they had different projects and I got to be a part of them, which was really fun because I had two friends in my first year that were roommates of mine that were in like a photography major, and like being able to like model with them was so fun. That's when I like started my modeling career. That's a lie, but I really got to like do it, and it was so fun because like I've never been like camera shy. I've always loved the idea of like modeling, obviously. I mean, hi, America's Next Top Model was my life when I was younger. So I was like, yeah, I've like worked on my angles. Like I know my face. And like at that point, like I said, I was in pretty good shape because I was going to the gym and stuff. So I was like very confident. And honestly, love that for me. That was probably my peak at that point, but whatever. Um, I feel like you don't just learn, things from the book though. You learn life lessons, and not just life lessons that like, physically getting away from everybody, like what that teaches you. But I also like from my professors, I learned how they got to where they are. So this is kind of weird, but like one of them literally just kept saying fake it till you make it. You kind of just have to. And I'm like, I kind of live by that now. Like I sometimes have to live in Delulu land to even think I'm going to get somewhere. Like when I get really tired of something and I'm like, I deserve better than this, good for me, for feeling like I actually deserve better than this. So I just basically put on that face. I put on that, like, I feel great. I am worthy of this. I deserve this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, literally, I had to do that almost every day to have any kind of presentation because I was like, this is what I deserve. This is what I'm doing. This is who I am. And I was like, very focused on that. So that I live by the whole fake it till you make it. Sometimes you just have to, like, you know what? This is who I am. I am that bitch. And like, whether or not you are or not, you'll get there because you're aiming for it. Like, keep going. Keep going. So, whenever I came to graduation time, like I said, it was a 2-year program. I got my associates. I still, I'm very proud of myself, but like, it wasn't terribly hard for me. I was very lucky that I loved what I did. And I guess I was just genuinely good at it because it didn't feel hard for me. Ironically, within the first semester, we probably lost 20 students, which I know that's not a lot, but when you have such a small school, it felt like a lot. Like, my class size went from like, 25 students down to like 15. And it was like, oh, something's off. And then when it came to second year returning and seeing more people drop out, I was like, ugh. Now, again, could be financial. No judgment there. It was just like a lot of people, I think, just discovered like this is not what I want to do. And granted, again, I didn't want to do every single class that was there either. Believe me, I was not good at anything traditional. I never excelled at them. One of our classes was literally just called like public speaking. I'm not terrible at public speaking, but the fact that I stutter and I don't like look at people, like, gosh, I'm even talking to a freaking camera right now and I keep looking away because I get a little nervous. It's just how it is. And unless I'm very confident in what I'm talking about, I stutter a lot and I just get uncomfortable and anxious and I'm just like, ah. So like, no one was perfect. No one like was nailing every single class. But whenever it came to graduation time, we Megan and I actually got ropes. We got these cool little ropes that they put around us, and I was like, "Oh, cool! How cute! Whatever." Like, and then I learned that the people that got the ropes were in the top 10% of the class. And again, is it that impressive? Probably not. Like, it was only out of like 50, maybe 35 students, because you have photography and graphic design. I think in total maybe there were 75 people there max. So yeah, say that I have like 35, 40-ish people, I was in the top 10%. Like, that's still pretty freaking cool, but I don't know. I was really proud of her and I at the moment. I was like, ah, like, we just kind of kept going. We just kept telling ourselves, we got to do this, we got to do that. Like, this is just what is expected of us. And thankfully, I can say that both her and I are still in this industry. So I do think that this was just kind of meant to be. I don't know if we're, living up to our top potential. At one point, we both wanted to like open up our own businesses. Hey, neither one of us have done that. But it's still cool to know that like we know how to use the programs. I know personally I do still get compliments on like designs that I take care of and how quickly I can do them and how I understand things really well and like my eye per se. Um so like I'm sure she still gets compliments like that too. Like sometimes you just kind of fall into the right category, but regardless, I just think college is just such a good experience for everybody to have. I think everybody needs to experience what it's like to be around different people, and everyone needs to experience what it's like when you, I don't know, you kind of get around people and you get to see like, what do I want to do with my life? How do I want to be perceived in this world? How do I want to like show up to the world? What kind of impact do I want to make on the world? Um, I know that like you're a small person. I am a small person in a sea of people, but like it's cool to think that something I do can actually affect the next person. So, yeah. Uh Once again, if you went back to college when you were an adult, I give you major fucking props. I've been out of school clearly now for 10 years, as I just figured out. There is no way I could do it, but I would not easily be able to probably get back into that mindset. The mindset of school is so different from where I am now. Like, I love that I kind of have my own control over my schedule and, like, I don't because I do the whole 9 to 5 thing. But still, as I'm like, I decide what order I want to do things most of the time. Like when you're in school, no, no, no. You do what they say. You are in the mindset of what they need, basically. And like, I don't know if I could get back into that. And like, I love learning though. So I do think I kind of want to look into getting like maybe some like classes on things I'm interested in. Um, but it's hard to continuously be like learning and having someone grade you for it and stuff. But also, like, times have changed a lot. Danielle is obviously in school still, and she's doing online schooling. I've never even done online schooling, but watching her, I'm like, that's just a different world. It's just weird. It's just different from me. So, like, I think regardless, if you decide to go back to school, major props to you. Major props. You are so smart. You are willing. You are strong. I am very proud of you for doing that because I think that means you just want to continue your education. You just want to better yourself. And I don't see anything wrong with that. But yeah, so guess I didn't tell you a ton of like college experience when it comes to like parties and such because to be honest, I was there for the social aspect and for, physically learning what I wanted to do with my life, but I wasn't really a big partier. Not really my vibe. I enjoyed being around people, and obviously, when I had the time, I loved going to like little parties, like little gatherings. But like, I was never a partier. But don't get me wrong, I saw a lot in college. I saw a lot of things, heard a lot of rumors, had a lot of friends from like all over the circle. I don't know. One thing about me is I just love people. Didn't matter what age I was, I just love people. Love finding out things about people. So once again, college was a really good experience for me. I hope it's a great experience for you, or, if you've already gotten out of it, I hope it was a great experience for you. But yeah, I highly recommend if you can go to college, you absolutely should for many reasons. Many reasons.